So imagine if a computer could understand speech, diagnose disease, or drive cars better than humans could. You don't really have to imagine it because it's becoming, and in many cases already is, a reality. I'm going to discuss the topic of machine learning, an important technology with countless applications. Machine learning is being used all over the place, from self-driving cars to determining what pops up when you start searching something on Google. I'm a computer science major, and the field of machine learning and AI in general is expanding rapidly, and is one of the areas I'm considering for a career choice. Machine learning is an incredible tool which we utilize all the time. First, I'm going to talk about what machine learning is, then I'll discuss how it works, and finally I'll go through some applications. All right, to start, I'm going to define what machine learning is. So what is machine learning? Machine learning is a method for computers to learn without being directly instructed. It is a subset of AI. It involves recognizing patterns from inputs such as like a picture or sound in order to give an output such as recognizing that that person is in the picture, or that a certain word is in the sound. Now that we know what machine learning is, let's talk about how it works. I think how machine learning works is best explained by providing an example. Let's say your goal is to make a program that can recognize written letters. A common way to do machine learning is to take some examples of handwritten letters that you already know the answer to, and use those to train the program in order to recognize letters from images that you don't know the answer to. At first, the program is pretty much going to be very bad at this, and it's going to pretty much guess randomly as to what the letter is. But after tweaking and more training, which basically boils down to a lot of math that the computer does, the program will eventually start to pick up on patterns in images. This methodology could be applied to many things, such as recognizing faces, or an object in an image, and recognizing speech. So in order to demonstrate this process, I have a video where they use machine learning to train bots to play hide and seek against each other. So
do me a favor, can you just lower it a little bit?
I did that before. So
okay, you're amazing, thank you.
The hiders learn to use rudimentary tools to their advantage. By grabbing and locking these blocks, they can create their own shelter. The seekers are locked in place for a brief period at the start of the game, giving hiders a chance to prepare. Even so, the hiders must learn to collaborate, accomplishing tasks that would be impossible for any single individual. The hiders are not the only ones who can learn to use tools. After many generations of failing to break into the shelter, the seekers learn to jump over obstacles using ramps.
So from that 30-second clip, you can see how the bots, after playing many games, they recognize patterns within the enemy's playstyle, and they can use the objects in their environment to their advantage. And eventually, I can only show 30 seconds, but eventually in the video they do like crazy strategies where they surf on the objects and stuff. It's pretty crazy. All right, with the discussion on how machine learning works out of the way, I will now talk about what the uses for it are. So let's talk about how it's used. So a Forbes article from October 14, 2019 discusses how plant breeding is becoming more accurate, efficient, and capable of evaluating a wider set of variables thanks to machine learning. Self-driving cars utilize machine learning. If you have ever done a CAPTCHA, such as the one in this image right here, you'll notice that a lot of the times it asks about things like stoplights or where cars are, and that actually has a purpose. An article from Zero states that Google has a history of using humans to verify and improve their OCR recognition through reCAPTCHA. Basically, whenever you do these, you're helping train a self-driving car to learn how to drive. According to the organization Deep AI, machine learning helps diagnose disease by identifying segments of the population that are most at risk for a certain disease. Now that I've only gone through only a few of the many applications for machine learning. Let's conclude by recapping what I've discussed. First, I talked about what machine learning is, then discussed how it works, and finally I said what some applications for machine learning are. I believe that machine learning is already a very important and useful tool, and its significance will only continue to grow as the future goes on. I would like to end with a quote from Mark Zuckerberg. Quote, "If you're arguing against AI, then you're arguing against safer cars that aren't going to have accidents, and you're arguing against being able to better diagnose people when they're sick."